You know, I never understood these people that were like, oh, I don't have any regrets. Like, everything that I've done or didn't do has made me who I am today. Like, come on, that's a bogus cop-out answer. You gotta regret something. Alright, what is going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by to today's video. We were on a little cruise outside the city today. I took off northwest-ish, up through Manayunk, through Plymouth Meeting, up through like Lower Providence Township, and I went through Audubon, PA. Now I'm headed over towards Valley Forge, which you've seen me cruise a little bit through. So we're gonna get some good looks at Valley Forge as we take a little ride through there. And I'm excited to talk about this one today, and I'm excited to get a little bit of your feedback and everybody else's feedback out there too. It's a topic that I've been thinking about for a while now, the longer that I've gotten into kind of my own motorcycle journey and some of my own motorcycle experiences, things I've done and people I've met and things I've seen along the way. And it's got me to thinking a little bit about motorcycle regrets, some things that I have started to regret along the way. And so what exactly do I mean by that? I mean, there's a lot of things that you could regret as far as like your motorcycle, whether it's like the motorcycle you picked out. I mean, I'm on the Iron 1200, the Sportster. It's a 2019. You know, you could regret modifications that you put on it or money that you spent on it. I mean, you could regret getting into motorcycles, period, all that different stuff. I mean, you could regret like a certain trip you went on if it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. I mean, anything really. You could regret doing some of your own work if you screwed something up. You could regret taking it to somewhere. You could regret a dealer that you worked with. I'm curious to know what anybody's motorcycle regrets are out there, whether it's, like I said, the bike you got, modifications, or brands that you got. If you're tuning in, let me know what your biggest motorcycle regret is, because I'm going to let you know what mine is here in just a little bit. So as we approach Valley Forge right here, I'm going to tell you what my biggest regret is about the Harley Sportster Iron 1200. So my biggest regret about this bike and having this bike for almost 2 years now is, I got to be honest, my biggest regret is not getting this bike sooner and earlier. And so what do I mean by that? Even to expand on that further, in a more general sense, I would say my biggest regret that I have come to think about lately is not starting to ride motorcycles sooner. And now this might turn into a little bit of like a sentimental type thing, or I'm sure some other people out there could probably connect with that. I know a lot of my people tuning in have told me that they have kind of started riding within the past few years and they love it, the experiences and the joy and all that good stuff that it brings to them. But I know I got a lot of people tuning in too that have been riding for quite a while. But yeah, in a general sense, my biggest regret is not getting this bike sooner, not starting to ride motorcycles sooner in my life. So I've said this before, I've been riding for almost 3.5, 4 years now, and just so far the experiences, the people, the different bikes that I've got to ride, the people that I've gotten to network with in just this short amount of time has just been like insane. It's just been amazing. And what makes me wish that I had started riding sooner is because like all of those experiences and things could have come sooner had I started riding sooner. Like the joy that I get, like just look at this. I'm out here at Valley Forge just cruising around. It's a lovely day out. You're taking in the scenery. You're having a blast riding. Like, could have been experiencing all of this a lot sooner in my life. I could have been meeting up with, you know, these people earlier in my life. I could have met all these cool people that I ride with now earlier, and I feel like I missed out on a lot of that. I missed out on a lot of these cool experiences because, let me think about this. So it was 3.5, so I started riding when I was 29, I think it was. So think about that. Could have riding so much more sooner. I could have gained so much more experience to get out longer and farther and sooner. You know, like think about some of the cool stuff that I've done, meeting up with those guys down in Baltimore to go camping. That was awesome. going out on the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, riding across the state of PA to meet up with my dad to ride with him and some other people. That was like a serious bucket list type thing that I always wanted to do. And like looking back, like I should have started riding so much sooner in my life because I like it so much. And the opportunities that it's opened up, like other opportunities, for example, to ride different types of bikes and motorcycles. You've seen me meet up with Corey at Turtles Two-Wheelers, riding his Indian Scout. I'm sure we're gonna link up and do more riding. You see me meet up with Dan out of Brandywine Harley Davidson, experience all those different bikes, and there's gonna be so much more of that to come. But all of that I have so much fun doing, and a lot of that could have come so much earlier. And then to take that even a step further, I think about, you know, had I been able to start like riding earlier and whatnot, I would have been able to kind of get into, you know, some of this like vlogging and content creation and stuff earlier too. And to see where this has gone within a year, you know, on Instagram and YouTube and followers and subscribers, all that good stuff. Shout out to everybody out there. Always appreciate you tuning in and checking out the Instagram at the MotoJohn. But yeah, thinking about, you know, just where this has gone within, you know, a little over a year, thinking about where it could be had I started this earlier, you know, like starting some of this stuff like years and years ago, this thing could be even bigger, better than what it is now. And, you know, that's not to say I'm not grateful to where it is now and, you know, where it's going and where we're headed and all that good stuff, but it's just something I've been kind of thinking about recently as, you know, as somewhat of a regret to not starting motorcycles earlier. And as a little bit of an anecdotal story, as to back up some of this, to even back this up a little bit further, like I had always planned on getting into motorcycles and getting into riding and everything because my family has been into motorcycles, was into motorcycles my entire life. And it was just kind of, I always felt like it was going to be a natural progression. I was always interested in them. I was always riding on the back of my dad's bikes, always around them growing up. But I had always heard the old stories of, you know, him running around, you know, panheads, shovelheads. They had all these old bikes and choppers and all this and that. And then finally, by the time me and my brother got a little older, he was finally able to get another bike, and he got a 2002 Harley Lowrider. And I remember when he got that, you know, we were all excited for him to like get back into riding and everything. You know, he's giving us rides all over the place. He's traveling on it and everything. And then eventually, a few years later, I think he kept that for 5 years, and then in 2009 he got his 2009 Street Glide. Still loves that thing. But yeah, being around like the bikes and everything, and you know, uncles having bikes, cousins, everything, dad having a bike, hearing all the old stories, I loved being around them. I loved to talk about them. Like that was the plan. Like I was always going to start riding, I was always going to get one, always had interest in Harleys obviously. But for whatever reason, growing up, like, I don't know what I was doing. I just never took the time to, like, finally take the motorcycle safety course and, like, get out there and get the bike. Like, I had ridden around on, like, cousins' dirt bikes and some of their bikes and stuff, but never really fully learned, like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if it was, like, a timing thing or, you know, I was younger, I was always playing sports, and then I went off to college, didn't really have any like time or resources to get into it then, like I just don't know. But all that time, you know, the plan was always there, the seed was always planted in the back of my mind. You know, I'm gonna start riding someday, yeah, I'm gonna get a bike someday, I'm gonna learn, you know. And I think the real catalyst, actually, this is pretty interesting. I had a couple colleagues, co-workers that eventually took the motorcycle safety course and got their bikes. You know, they're talking about it and got into it and got their bikes, and I'm looking at it and, you know, seemed like a whole entire easy process. So I look at my bank account and I'm like, you know what, I've got the time, I've got the resources, it's time to finally do this, you know, at the age of like 29, 30 or whatever it was, I can't even remember, lose track of time and age, but yeah, I was like, all right, like I've got the time, I got the money, I can get a bike, let's do this. So took the class, got my first bike, the rest is history. And then ended up getting the Sportster, starting the MotoJohn, and I mean, everything has just been awesome since then. So yeah, that's definitely got to be one of my biggest regrets in general. Not even just regrets related to motorcycles, but just overall regrets, man. It's just not starting to ride sooner. You know, all the doors that this has opened up so far, all the people that I've met, bikes I've gotten to ride so far. I plan on just hopefully meeting more people, increasing these experiences, making up a little bit for lost time. So that's gonna wrap it up on some of my biggest regrets. Didn't mean to get a little sentimental there, or a little emotional. But no, seriously, I would say definitely like one of the biggest regrets, obviously. I'm curious to hear what anybody else's motorcycle regrets are out there. Is it the bike you got? Is it the first bike you got? Did you spend too much money on a bike? Did you crash a bike? That would be a regret, I guess. Hopefully not your fault if you did. Is it that you didn't start riding soon enough? Did you start riding too late? Drop it down there in the comments, let me know. So that's gonna wrap up this ride. We went through Valley Forge. We're heading, where are we headed? We're headed south, east, back into the city. We'll probably make a little pit stop up here in Conshohocken. Maybe stop at a Wawa, grab a hoagie, something like that. As always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you ride safe out there. And of course, we'll catch you on the next one. It's the Moto John. We'll see you on down the road. Peace.